Hi students, I am Dr. R. Mahalakshmi, working as Assistant Professor of Commerce Computer Applications in V.V. Vanniyaparamal College for Women, Virudhunagar. In this session, we are going to discuss about deduction under section 80C to 80U. Under income tax, we have to calculate gross total income. We are having 5 heads of income like income from salary, income from house property, income from business and profession, income from capital gain and income from other sources. We have to got gross total income by adding up these 5 heads of income. From that gross total income, we have to deduct some deductions under section 80C to 80U and then we can get taxable income. Now we can go in this deductions 80C to 80U one by one elaborately. First, deduction under section 80C. This is applicable to persons, individual and HUF regarding payment of life insurance policy, contribution to public provident fund, etc. Qualifying amount of deductions under section 80C is up to rupees 1,50,000. Next, deduction under section 80CCC. This is applicable for individual regarding contribution to pension fund. Here also the maximum amount of deduction is rupees 1,50,000 or the actual amount paid, whichever is less is qualifying amount of deduction. Next, deduction under section 80CCD. This is applicable for individual, employee or other individual. Payment regarding subscription and contribution to pension fund, and the qualifying amount of deduction is amount deposited by the employee or 10% of salary, whichever is less. If the amount is contributed by the central government, that amount or 14% of salary, whichever is less, is quantum of deduction. In case of other individual, up to rupees 20% of gross total income is exempted. Next, deduction under section 80CCE. This is also applicable for individual only. Here the payment regarding deductions under section 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD. Now we can calculate the overall quantum of limit for under section 80CC is rupees 1,50,000. After that we have to add additional 50,000 for deduction under section 80CCE. So the overall limit is 2 lakh. Next, deduction under section 80DD for individual and HUF resident in India. Here the expenditure on medical treatment, training and rehabilitation of disabled dependent. If the disability is normal, here the eligible deduction is rupees 75,000. In case of severe disability, the eligible deduction is 1,25,000. Next, deduction under section 80DDB. It is applicable for individual and HUF resident in India regarding medical treatment. Here the amount received from an insurer or reimbursed by the employee shall be deducted and the balance shall be allowed. Here the amount paid are rupees 40,000, whichever is less, can be taken as a quantum of deduction. In case of senior and super senior citizen, amount paid are rupees 1 lakh, whichever is less, is taken as an eligible deduction amount. Next, deduction under section 80E. This is also applicable for individual. Here the payment regarding interest on loan is taken for higher studies of self and relatives. Here the whole amount, how much we can spend for educational loan, that amount can be taken as quantifying amount of deduction. Next, deduction under section 80EE for individual regarding interest on loan taken for a residential house. Here the amount, quantifying amount of deduction is eligible up to rupees 50,000. Next, section 80EEA. The person applicable for this deduction is individual. Here the payment regarding interest on loan taken for residential house, the quantum of amount of deduction is up to rupees 1,50,000. Next, section 80EEB for individual. Here the payment regarding interest on loan taken for purchasing a electric vehicle. So the quantum of deduction amount is up to rupees 1,50,000. Next, deduction under section 80G. This is applicable for all the assessee here the 80G is fully relevant to contributions and donations. So regarding donation to approved funds or institution in the form of a sum of money. So here we can divide 80G donations into deductions into two. One is no limit donations and then with limit donations. In this two head can also divide into 100% and then 50%. So based on that we have to find out the quantifying amount and then allowed as a deduction. So in each case we have to calculate 80G deduction separately. Next we are going to see 80GG. This is applicable for individual regarding expenditure on house rent in excess of 10% of total income by self-employed persons and salaried persons not heading house rent allowances. So here this payment is regarding only for the employee who is not receiving house rent allowance from their employer. Here the quantum of deduction is excess of rent paid over 10% of total income or maximum 25% of total income or 5,000 per month, whichever is less. Next, deduction under section 80GGA. This is applicable for all assessees regarding payments made to research association or to a university or college, etc. for scientific research or social or statistical research or to an association or institution engaged in any program or rural development or training person for such program. Here the quantum of deduction is 100% of the amount paid. Then next, deduction under section 80GGB. This is applicable for only Indian companies. Here the payment regarding contribution to political parties. Here also the 100% is the amount how much they can spend is fully deducted under section 80GGB. Then deduction under section 80GGC. This is applicable for all assessees except local authority, juridical person and Indian company regarding contribution to political parties. Here also the 100% of the amount they spend is allowed as a deduction. Then last one, deduction under section 80C. This is applicable for person who is disability, that is self suffering from disability. An individual suffering from a physical disability including blindness or mental retardation, an individual suffering from severe disability. So in case of normal disability, the quantum of deduction is 75,000. In case of severe disability, the quantum of deduction is 1,25,000. Thank you girls. Hope all you are understand how much we can calculate deduction under section 80C to 80U. Thank you.